What's up, guys? It's Dave Bristow from Extreme Paint Studio. Today, we're going to do him. We're going to do this tiger. That's the number one of the 4 tutorials that I posted the other day. This one got the most votes, I guess. So we're going to go with this one. We're only going to do it in black and white. And I'm not going to put this water tattoo look around the outside, because we're going to put our own spin on it. We're going to extreme it up into colour with, excuse the compressor kicking in. We're gonna do it in colour, and we're going to put our own extreme spin on it. So there'll be 2 videos. One where we paint the tiger in black and white, which should actually keep the video down a bit. And then number 2 is when we'll add colour and we'll extreme it up. All right, so that's that. We're going to crack on with that today. That should be up and loaded shortly. What else have we got? Oh, competition. Keep the entries coming in. I'm going to be closing it off next Friday, so I'll select the narrowed down people that I'm going to be putting into the draw. I did think about maybe, like coming back to you guys and saying to you, right, these are the 5, these are the 5 that I've chosen, and you got to pick the one that you like. But I thought, you know what, it might be just as quick for me to pick 5, put their names in a hat, and just draw one out. And do a video of that, and that way I can get moving and get that person's academy pack out, and actually get them going as fast as possible. So I'm going to look to possibly do that, but we'll play that one by ear. But keep your entries coming in anyway. With regards to the tutorials that I've loaded up recently, like the Indian chief, just done a landscape one. We got the Reaper we're going to turn into color as well. Do you need me to carry on adding the rest of the Indian chief, for example? We've got 3 videos up there. I don't know how far you guys have got with it. Do you want me to keep loading the additional videos? I think there's about another 2 to go. If you do need me to load them, I can load them up. But I don't want to rush you all. I know you may be limited on time, and there's a lot of tutorials that I'm loading up, even like the water droplets. The other day, you may get interrupted going, oh, I want to do that one, I want to do this one, I want to do that one, when there's only so much time in the day. So I'm loading them just for you to work your way through them eventually. But if you want me to load more of the Indian chief and the landscape, I can do that. So just drop a comment in the comments below, and I'll pick up on it, and I'll make sure that happens. All right, so we're going to crack on with this. Anything you want to ask me, just drop it in the comments below, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care. Bye. And all we're going to do is start filling in all of these little blacks, just nice and gently. Try and keep your edges soft, okay? So I'm about 2 inches away. I want to keep the edges of the black stripes soft. No, I'm not using shields, right? And I'm just filling them in. Just lose your pencil lines or your sarrel lines. I'm just going to go along that line. Just going up and down on that line. There's a bit of a shade there. This one shouldn't really take too long. I will jump around. We've just got to feel all of the black. Board move. Don't need that, do we? When we're painting. Notice my hand is resting on the board, okay? So it allows me to get that stability, and I'm resting this hand, so this hand's touching the board only ever so slightly with the outside of my finger there. I'm resting it on the board, and then these three fingers, so where you got the T of the airbrush, these three fingers are underneath the gun, and my finger comes round like that. And then when I'm sitting on the board like that, I put my fingers on there and cup it with my thumb. That allows me to stay in the same position, same distance from the board, and I'm just moving my hand up and down the board. If I want to move in closer, I can, but look at the stability that I've got, because my hand can't really move further forward because this is blocking it. Okay, so I'm keeping that constant distance. Another useful tip. Look, the stroke of the airbrush, my finger's not even moving, right? Look at my finger, it's not even moving. And I'm just moving my hand around the board by sliding up and down with this finger. Look, same distance. My finger's now not moving, I've got my paint flowing, and I'm just moving around the board. I want to keep my edges soft anyway, and you'll understand why a little bit later. But I'm at the same distance, constantly. Try giving it a go, and try and get it really stable. Allows you to follow lines perfectly. So much stability in my hand there. I can just maneuver this airbrush wherever I want to. I'm not worried about a little bit of overspray because we're going to need that. Alright, so don't worry about overspray. I'm actually going to do this in real time, so however long this video takes is how long it's taken me to paint it. No real editing. Apart from my swearing and stuff when it all goes horribly wrong. Might take that out. put a little shield around the eye, like we do, just to get that. I'll see if you can see from that angle. Just going to go around that eye. Just to sharpen it up a bit. There's more of a mist on that bit there. It's not actually a black, it's a shadow to the eye. So we don't, that's not actually a black bit. This is. It's not actually a stripe, it's just a very dark area. Some of them are just dark areas and some of them are actually black stripes. Like coming out of this one, that shadow is this one, I call it like the eyebrow on a tiger. And that one, that both of them come up like that. See, I was talking to a few of you about airbrushes and what airbrushes I use and stuff like that. Yeah, I've got a lot of airbrushes. I'm going to do a review on airbrushes when I get a chance. But you know, I've got just over here, I can't even grab them all out, they're all being cleaned and whatnot, but got anything from Eclipses to Infinity CR Pluses, Microns, they're all in split up, being cleaned at the moment. I got about 21 to well, I had 21 airbrushes that were all clean not so long ago. I've probably got about 30 airbrushes here, but the one I used is this one in my hand. I use it all the time, and you can see, look at the detail. Look, I can do that with a Micron, £500 Micron, you know. I can't get much better than that with a Micron, and this is like £40. And the nozzles and needles are about £15. Nozzle, needle and air cap for £15. A Micron, that would be in the region of £100. So every time you bend your needle, every time you break your nozzle, £100. I could replace the whole airbrush for £40. All you've got to do is the math, and you can still achieve the same lines. Look how thin that is. Why do I need a Micron? I'm not trying to be funny, but if this one goes wrong, just grab another one out of a box and you're back to brand new airbrush again. So you're going to have 10 of these for 1 micron. So when this one eventually goes, and you don't feel it's doing the action, just grab out a new one out of the 10 that you bought. I'm going to show you a review of me using a Micron doing full detail work, and I'll show you me using an Infinity CR Plus 0.15 or 0.2. I'll show you using this, and I'll put them up against each other, and you'll see. I mean, because I'm painting bikes as well, it allows me to, every paint job basically, I can, you know, I factor in on the price of the paint job a brand new airbrush. So I'm always working with a new airbrush. It just so happens that I don't have to, but I factor it in on my costings. You know, when I do a bike, a show bike, which is every month I'm doing 2 or 3 show bikes. I'll just factor in a couple of airbrushes in the costings of the job. So I've got these airbrushes, the £40, £45 airbrushes in abundance. So I'm never going to run out. I'll never have a failed airbrush to one side, because I'm just replacing the whole airbrush. But in all fairness, I haven't replaced this one yet. I've replaced the nozzle and needle the other day, because as you could see in some of the videos, the needle was protruding the end quite far. So I replaced the nozzle and needle for, really, in effect, because I didn't have to do the air cap, for about £10. And I'm back to a brand new perfect working airbrush. But we'll do a review. You will be able to buy these airbrushes shortly on the website. You don't have to buy them from me, but I'm going to be stocking them. If anyone wants to try one, give it a go. Yeah, they haven't got the finesse on the trigger like an Infinity CR Plus or a Micron. Okay, they're a bit more like an Eclipse. I were to Eclipse, they're a bit more clunky on the trigger, right? But you can see how I'm controlling it. It's not about the airbrush. As long as I can get that thin line, if I want a thin line, look, this is my thin line, right? Look at that thin line. It's not about the airbrush, it's about your trigger action. So if you've got a good trigger action, doesn't matter what airbrush you got in your hands, you'll get familiar with that airbrush, and you'll understand where the sweet spot of the trigger is, which is what I teach in my academy, like where the sweet spot of the trigger is, because there's, you know, it's so small that that trigger action. If you go push too far forward, you're shutting it off, and if you pull back too far, you've got too much paint. So there's that sweet spot, and that's what my academy teaches. As we're going through it, I'm teaching people to control the paint flow and the trigger action to make sure you've got the that sweet spot locked in, among other things. But okay, I'm just going to use a shield just to go over this bridge there. And there's another one there. It actually comes up at that point.
So it comes in there and goes up there. That's that bit, that's all shaded. This is a bit hard to decipher what's going on in this area over here, so I'm literally just making it up. At the end of the day, it's still going to look like the image. Still going to look like a tiger. So it doesn't matter if you have to make a little bit up. I'm going to start speeding up a bit now. Just so we can make sure we get through it. When I do this here, because I give myself a little bit of a jagged edge there, I'm just going to push into the jagged bit. I'm doing it more of as a miss compared to the black stripes. So it's more grey. Obviously the tip of the ear is black. And I want to darken all this area anyway. I'm just going to push a little bit out from this. Just drag it off into like little daggers. Nose is running now. I've been outside. It's a bit cold today. -3. It's unheard of. I'm sure there's some people watching this that are dealing with worse than -3. So I just misted that one there. Now I dragged it out. I'm going to do the same in the background here. I'm just going to punch it in just every now and again. I'm just going to go around the teeth, just so I leave them there. Just a little bit of an offering there in the background of teeth, so nothing come in between it. They're kind of doled out a bit anyway. Just going to use a shield to go around the area of the tongue. So just block it off. Air dryer, remember, when you're using shields. So do a bit, air dryer, and then go again. And air dry again. Ooh. See, if that was wet, that would have dragged along my picture. Got a little bit of an overspray there, but that's darkening that in that area anyway. So we can use the bottom of the shield to come around the tongue. Check for your values. When I say values, I mean your lights and darks. So just make sure your values are correct. I'm just going to shield that tooth while I go in underneath the tongue. Now we can just start putting a little bit of detail in the gum area. This is all kind of greyed out anyway. You want a kind of grey look going in there. And they're getting nice and tight in between the teeth now. We're going to blur them out anyway. Grey that out a bit. Shield your tooth again. That bit's the background actually, so I'm just going to take that out for a second. Just that bit there. It's more in the background than it is in my lip. Shield again. Shield your little tooth. Still in. Shield that tooth. A little bit of scaling, but I'm not worried about it. Oh, this is on clay board, by the way, guys, just so you know. I'm doing this on ampersand clay board. So it will skate a little because it's such a good board. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Bit of a grey kind of bit underneath there. And then we've got this kind of in, out, in, out, in, out there. And that comes around. Like that. Let's have a look. Stand back. Oh, I went the wrong way there. I've got a line there that I don't need, so I'm just going to take that out. A little bit of a line in there as well, I don't need. So I'm just going to take that out. bit of skating there, but it don't matter. Okay, we're starting to form the shape now, which is quite nice. Okay, what we got going on there? We've got a little bit of flow out there, so I'm just dragging it down. Dragging that out. So the little bit I got in my tooth, I can come in and wipe out. That's a bit of the sorrel in there. We can get rid of that as well, because we want to shade that perfectly. Just clean it up. I've used the grey sorrel, and to be honest, the grey smudges a lot more compared to the red. So if you're going to buy a sorrel to do your mapping and whatnot, buy the red one. You can hide the red lines as you're painting, but look, this grey just kind of smudges a bit, so you end up having to come in with a glass fibre to get it back to the board. It's very messy, the grey sorrel. Not as grey in that area, but I'll just punch that out a bit. Just leave that like that. You can just see the. Let's punch that out a bit more. There we go. Okay. So it's on the inside of the tooth where it's darker. So we'll just put a drop shadow down to the bottom of the tooth, like that. And then we can come in with our shadows up here. Oh, too much paint there. Going to come down the tongue now, leave a gap, and just blend it out. Now I'm going to come in and clean up that tooth. with the glass fibre, like we did in the vampire. Just clean it all up. I know I've already put some shading in it, but I want that really nice and clean. And clean that one up as well. Clean that end up. Just get that coming around to a nice little point. And we'll shade around it. Just going to clean up. I've got those shading lines in the tongue. I don't like them, so I'm just going to remove them first and then reshade it. Use a little bit of a loop and just push up into the tube. And then we can clean the top up. Might need a glass fibre. The other one hasn't got so much going on in it, but I'll put some in it, just behind, like that. There's a little bit of a creep up behind these teeth. So I'm just gonna we're just going to go a little bit heavier on that tooth down to the bottom, just so it stands out a little bit more. That's it. Shade that a little there, so it looks like it's curved. Same here. Get that more defined going up. We'll bring in the nose a little bit here. Let's get that top ear in. Flick out of that with little daggers. And just put a little line along that one. We've brought really no detail in on this yet. We're still at the still put a line down there. We're still at the early stages. Okay, let's carry on shading this area up here just a little bit. Push out. Let's get this dark area in here. I'm trying to keep this like from a distance as well, because we're going to be doing some erasing just to bring in some detail. So I'm just doing little daggers, soft daggers, just get that sense of movement. Going to bring out this highlight in here. Maybe a bit of glass fibre in the bottom bit. Now for this bit I'm just going to push out, but not heavy. Because it's kind of like a white area, this, the fur on the chin. I'm going to go heavier underneath it. I'm just going to push out, little daggers, just push. This is where you can bring in that tooth. Let's use my shield just to get that bit in. Yeah. He's kind of got a smooth shoulder to him. So I'm just going to bring that around. Got a little bit of overspray there, but I'm not worried. Like there.